Welcome everyone to an all-new episode of the Comic Multiverse, where the worlds of nerds meet. I am your very tired, very overtaxed this week host. In fact, by the time you all hear this podcast on Wednesday morning, I will already be in transit to the New York Comic Con. And oh man, do I need a freaking vacation from this work vacation that I'm about to take. But enough of my white people problems complaining. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing really well. I'm probably a lot more energized than you are. But of course, that's like the time difference and everything. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
It's been a pretty solid week out there if you're a comic fan and nerd online. We got the Luke Cage show, which we, of course, are going to talk about at the tail end of this episode, where we would usually talk about the comics we read for this week. We're going to turn that into a Luke Cage Spoilercast. I figured that would be a nice little gift to leave everyone, and because Matt and I both finished the show in relatively good time, why the hell not, right?
Yeah, why not?
And the other good thing, if you were a nerd online this week, Mr. Plinkett and Red Letter Media put out a new review. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had time to watch it yet, but I'm planning on watching it maybe a little bit later on tonight.
It's long. It's an hour 40. I mean, shit, watching one of those is like a movie in and of itself.
Yeah.
I won't spoil anything he says, but you think that's hilarious, you should read the comment sections, as always. I think this video hit people in a way that Mike and Jay were not expecting.
Yeah?
They rustled a very particular set of very strange internet jimmies, which I was surprised. Again, I won't spoil it for you.
Fantastic. I love it when they do that.
I know you do. Again, and this is like a group where it's like, really? Okay, whatever, all right. And if you remember, too, in the great trailer, in the lead-up to this particular Plinkett review, there was that great trailer they put out where, Plinkett wakes back up and then it's just one giant long piss take.
Mm-hmm, yep.
You remember that one? Well, they top it in this one.
Oh, excellent.
They up the ante in a big way, in the only way they possibly could. All the jokes are back and some new jokes, too. It's a good time. If I was to give my review of the new Plinkett thing, I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. What else did you have going on this week, Matt? Anything particular? Anything you want to talk about?
Not really. I had a pretty chill week. I'm on sort of a vacation sort of week at the moment, so I haven't really been doing much besides catching up on TV shows. I made a bunch of new videos that I'm going to be putting out soon, and one that went out recently, which is actually getting a lot of attention, and people are actually really liking it and wanting me to do more of them, so I'm probably going to do more of them.
Is that the most misquoted Superman story?
Yep.
I saw that. That was good work. That was a good idea for a video. Very clever indeed.
Yeah, well, I was getting kind of tired of people misreferencing it and everything, so I thought I might set the record straight on it.
And we sure do. I guess with that, we can just hop right into the news this week. And there's a fair amount of stuff, some from this week and some from last week, that I figured was worth talking about. Perhaps the biggest one is that the Ben Affleck Batman movie officially has a name now. Have you heard about this, Matt?
I have. It's just called The Batman.
The Batman, which, this is a personal pet peeve of mine. I have never liked it when they call Batman The Batman.
It is really weird because it makes it sound like he's something not human, but then he has man at the end of his name, and it doesn't make any sense.
It's such an oxymoron. I never even liked that cartoon, The Batman, and the title totally turned me off too. I'm like, what do you mean, The Batman? Of course he is Batman. He is a thing. He is a guy. This isn't one particular Batman you're talking about. It's just the Batman. I mean, heck, even Heath Ledger's Joker refers to him as that in Dark Knight, and that was the thing that made me raise my eye, where it's like, we got to kill the Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, as you said before, it's kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, it's so weird, but, whatever, titling aside, at least Batman's in the title, that's pretty good. At least we finally reached a point now where our heroes can actually have their names in their titles for DC. That's not too bad.
It's true.
Every little step helps.
Yeah, everything little has. And I don't know whether you've noticed as well, but since after Batman v Superman came out and everyone really hated it, and they've sort of changed everything,
Again.
With Jeff Johns being whatever he is, we don't really know, and all this other stuff, they've been a lot more, I guess, open.
They're trying to be,
about, but then that sort of they could be too open as well and reveal too much. And yeah, it's really weird what they're doing. They're doing all those, like we've seen those that shot recently of Zack Snyder doing like those storyboards or whatever. Some reason where he's wearing a Batman gauntlet for some reason.
Yeah. Apparently yo, bro, this is how I write, bro. This is how my creative juices get flowing, bro. I gotta put the back glove on.
As someone said to me on Twitter, it felt really staged.
Oh, I mean, of course it's funny too that it's like he's sitting there with the storyboards, but he's sitting there in like an artist stance, like, you know, like he drew the storyboards, and I'm like, are we really supposed to sit here and think that Zack Snyder drew those?
Well, when someone actually zoomed in on them, and they were just literally stick figures, so...
Yo, bro, and then the Batman fucking comes in, you know, he just pimps on in with his bat car. It's called the Batmobile, Zach, whatever. He comes pimping
we're gonna
in.
change it, he's gonna have big fucking guns on the front, man.
And then, you know, Deathstroke, you know, he's a badass ninja motherfucker with no eye and shit. You know, he's basically Ron Perlman meets Stephen Lang. And he comes on in, and he's all old as shit.
They CrossFit, and...
Yo, but he's jacked as shit, bro. I hope I'm that jacked as shit when I get to be his age, bro. And everyone's like, this is great, Zach. You're doing a bang-up job, as everyone slowly backs up out of the room.
Yeah, they just go back to shooting the film while he's over in the corner drawing.
Hey, everyone, can we get Zach some crayons? He did some great pictures. Now, you color those, Zach, and we'll put those on the Warner Brothers fridge. Okay, bro, I'm gonna color the shit out of these pictures, bro. You'll see. It's gonna be great. I like that voice I do for Zack Snyder is literally just the douche from Sausage Party. The irony being is that I was doing that voice long before I ever saw Sausage Party. I think that Seth Rogen movie ripped off my impression is all I'm saying. My weird, over-the-top, Flanderized impression of Zack Snyder.
Well, that's what that's what Seth Rogen said in an interview. He listened to the comic Multiverse and was like, I like what that Joel guy does with that sort of bro Greedo voice. So,
well, hey, apparently we cast a larger shadow than we think, Matt, because wasn't there another piece of news that came out this week? You know, what will the group of villains be to tie all the CW heroes together when next we see them in a big crossover? We joked, hey, shouldn't it be the Dominators? Aren't those some cool villains who aren't used in enough stuff? Well, it's going to be the Dominators.
I know. When I saw that, I was like, someone's like tapped our phones or something, or like these guys know what they're talking about. Let's listen to them. Where's our money, man? I know, and it's not even like I'm trying to be like Captain Scoopy over here or anything. It's not even like I have some insider information or anything. I guess we're just both really good guessers. Yeah. I don't know. It came out of nowhere as well. It really did. I mean, It was just something we were just talking about, like, hey, Dominators, because they were in the new Green Lantern comic. Mm-hmm. And like a week before, too, it came out. Yeah. It was shocking. It was really, really shocking. I really hope there's some shadowy, like, movie boardroom out there, like some CW boardroom, where they hear this show and they're like, who the fuck told them? Where's the leak? Yeah, we got to get it out now before they start telling us more. For real, man. Which, shit, I guess if the Dominators are going to be in the CW universe, that pretty much means there's a good chance Green Lantern could be in there. Well, it's possible, yeah. I mean, isn't one of the villains in Legends of Tomorrow or something related to Jay Garrick, his son or something? Well, one of the members of the JSA or something, Obsidian or something? Yeah, Obsidian, to which I'm like, okay, that's pretty freaking huge if you're going to have basically a Green Lantern family character in there. Maybe that's their way of having Green Lantern without really having Green Lantern, where it's like, well, we'll do old Green Lantern where he's magic, not science fiction. Yeah, and we've already kind of, sort of, not really had Hal Jordan in Arrow. There was that like slight cameo of some guy wearing a bomber jacket that said Jordan on it. Oh, more Arrow being Arrow. I actually watched the trailer for the newest season of Arrow, not because I like the show or anything, but because Cody Rhodes is going to be in it, and I've been following his career quite closely, and I guess he's going to be like a villain in the first couple episodes. And as I sit there and watch the trailer, he's just like, maybe we should go back to killing. Maybe we had it right in the first season when we killed people. Oh, no. And, like, one of the guys on his team, his new team, is literally just Casey Jones. Really?
literally just Casey Jones. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy supposed to be? And they're like, oh, Vigilante. I'm like, really? Really? You're doing a TV version of Vigilante? Even the comics don't like Vigilante. Or maybe it was supposed to be Warrant or any of those other... It might have been Warrant for all I know. It was either Vigilante or Warrant. It was one of those characters where you're like, really? And also, too, apparently the villain this season is going to be like Prometheus.
Oh.
But he looks...
Gotta cull those Batman villains, man.
Yeah, God forbid Green Arrow should fight actual Green Arrow villains, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure someone in the comments is already writing, but Joel, what about Cry for Justice? Green Arrow fought Prometheus in that story. Oh, you mean in one of the worst Justice League stories ever told? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's not a Green Arrow story, it's a Justice League story.
That happened to involve the Green Arrow family. Yeah, you just can't start pulling points from wherever, where it's like, but Nazi Batman had goggles, so goggles are fine. Yeah, that was an Elseworlds Nazi Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't get to hold that up and say, no, but it's right because of this. No!
That's not how it works.
In fact, it lends further credence to it being wrong. You just shot your own argument in the foot. God damn. What were we talking about again? Oh, yeah, the Batman.
We were talking about Batman.
But yeah, the Batman. That should be okay. There's a title. Batman's in it. I like it. Moving on from that, we have some other news this week that, set the internet and comment sections ablaze, again, over what I can only call very silly, silly reasons, and that is Greg Rucka, in an interview, came out and said, as far as he is concerned, Wonder Woman is officially bisexual, and in my mind, when I read that headline, all I could go is, well, yeah, duh.
Yeah. Kind of makes sense.
Here's the thing. I don't know how anyone else's headcanon works, but in my mind, Wonder Woman has always been bisexual. It's the only way it kind of makes sense. In fact, this isn't even the first version this year of the character that has explored her as possibly being bisexual.
Yep, Earth One did it as well.
I'm pretty sure Bombshells did it too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably.
And everyone's treating this like this was huge news, where it's like, whoa, can you believe, this huge, bomb that went off? Can you believe that, they finally came out and said it? Did you not read the second issue closely enough? Literally in issue 2, Rucka makes a point of coming out and saying, oh yeah, and Wonder Woman had a bunch of girlfriends while on the island.
Yeah. And they do it for everything. Like, they did it back when the New 52 said, Alan Scott was going to be gay and everything. Like, whoa, you can't do that. It's against the character. I'm like, really? People cared about Alan Scott?
For real. It's amazing what gets people's dander up online. I mean, really, I can't even say this is a great move for diversity, because in my mind, I'm like, but she's always been that way as far as I'm concerned. Just because it's new for you doesn't mean it's new for me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I look at it. I mean, sure. I mean, at least it's nice that Wonder Woman can come out of the invisible plane's invisible closet for just a little bit and, admit in a very Greek way, hey, I'm just a sex person, I just like it all, it's all good. And like, sure, I mean, I guess if I wanted to play, devil's advocate on this one, and I'm not talking about, like, all the horrible internet homophobes, but, maybe someone who would say, well, don't you think straight women should have, like, good role models to look up to? Why is it that most of the strong comic book female characters these days all seem to be gay? And to that, I just kind of shrug my shoulders and go, I don't really know how to answer that question.
Yeah, it's true.
It's a difficult question to answer. In fact, I know we have a couple female fans out there who I'm sure have their own strong feelings about that. So instead of talking about it, I am actually willing to listen, and I'm going to read the comments when I'm away, and I'm going to hear what the female fans have to say, and we can talk about that. How's that sound, Matt?
That sounds good.
There you go. And speaking of cool new things, Steve Orlando, it was announced today in a series of different little tweets there from DC Comics that he will be penning a series of Justice League of America one-shots, including Vixen, The Ray, The Atom, and Killer Frost. Yeah,
so apparently they're going to be either the whole team or parts of the new JLA team, which is pretty interesting.
It is. It's also surprising because I know you and I, Matt, were working under the same assumption that the JLA team we were going to see in DC Rebirth was gonna be the old Justice, or that we thought like maybe Justice League of America was going to feature the Justice Society team because they had made such a big deal about them in DC Rebirth Universe #1 and how, the old team is out there somewhere, they're just lost. But this is an interesting idea too, because essentially what they're doing here is they've made JLA into the TV adjacent team.
Yeah, it's some of the stuff I like, but some of it I don't like. I don't like the Atom, which is
Ryan Choi,
it's
not
Ryan Choi continuing his stuff from the Rebirth special. He's literally just wearing the Atom armor from the TV show.
He is. They've totally changed it around to make it look like the TV show. But honestly, I'm excited to see Choi show up because I want to see them finish that storyline. Because if you'll remember from DC Universe Rebirth, the original Adam, Ray Palmer's like, hey, I'm trapped in the microverse, but I found some shit that's going to pop your eyelids, man. Also,
yeah, I'm really interested in that as well.
Mm-hmm. Vixen is cool. I always thought she had a good power set, and I have fond memories of her from the Justice League cartoon show, so it's nice to see her in something. The Ray is an interesting choice. They are clearly priming the shit out of him for big things. What with the animated series he's going to have, and now out of nowhere, boom, you're on a Justice League team.
Yes, I think something's going to happen with that character.
You would think so. And then Killer Frost, who has been standing in an interesting sort of like limbo as a character where it's like, okay, we tried to make her a hero once before when she was getting really popular on Flash, or at least a version of her was getting quite popular, and now we're going to get ready to try again by making her a good guy.
Yeah, that seems pretty interesting.
I wonder, too, if they're like, well, we can't have Captain Cold on this team. Even Captain Cold is really popular on television, because we might want to make him a villain again in the comics. So who's another ice-themed villain who's connected to the TV shows we can put on the team? Frost, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, one thing you'll notice about this team is they're missing a Superman-type character, and they're missing a Batman-type character.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they're even going to have any of them, or if it's just going to be like this team of kind of D-list characters.
Yeah, like lower tier, but with lots of room to grow. Here's my theory. If Orlando is writing these one-shots, what else does Orlando write? Oh, Midnighter and Apollo. Wouldn't it be awesome if the Superman and Batman of this new Justice League of America team was Midnighter and Apollo?
And that would make us... that will sort of confirm something else we said, where we want them, or we think they're going to be on a team as well.
Exactly. Be like, look, if you want to keep these heroes from this other universe going that never quite got a chance, then this would be a smart way to do it. Let them be front and center, but also let them back up and prop up some, lower tier leaguers.
Yeah. We also have the Superwoman as well, Lana Lang, running around, so she could be on the team as well.
Yeah, and she's not on a team yet. I would also argue, I guess Shazam's not on the Justice League anymore. This might be a good fit for him.
Yeah. Well, what's his deal? Where the hell is he?
He just fucking disappeared in between DC Rebirth and
he's hanging out with Superboy in Limbo.
He's grounded is what he was, because he's just a little kid. He was grounded. He's not allowed to come out in superhero, at least not until that Rock, Shazam, Black Adam movie comes out. Then wait until everyone says that Shazam was always super important to the DC universe.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good people you could put on this team. You know what? Let's not put Martian Manhunter on this team. He's been on enough team books that didn't make it. As much as I love John Jones, I think he might be the kiss of death for a lot of these books.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He's really popular now because of the Supergirl TV show. So, you think they might put him in the book or something? Maybe.
Here's a shocker for you too. If these are all the CW TV adjacent characters, why is Green Arrow not on this team?
He's busy fighting lumberjacks.
He's fighting them lumberjacks. Oh, I love that scene so goddamn much. When Green Arrow and his sister fuck over those angry lumberjacks who are like, man, they're taking our job, fucking Silicon Valley, I tell you what, it's like a man can't make a blue-collar living anymore, and Green Arrow just pimps on in there, and he's like, look, guys, I'm really sorry the shifting economic markets has hurt your ability to earn, but at the same time, you're breaking the law, so I'm going to beat you up now. It's totally the sort of moment where if this was like Hard Traveling Heroes days and Green Lantern was hanging out with him, he'd be like, "Hey, why are you hassling those true Americans there, Ollie?" And he'd be like, "They're breaking the law. Can you not see?" That was good stuff. I like that book. I like that scene quite a bit. But yeah, that's the JLA book. Color me interested. I don't know if I'm going to review all these little tie-ins, but once they all come together in a book, I would definitely be interested in reading all these characters together.
Yeah, it's definitely a really interesting way of setting up this team.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think in a lot of cases, the writers need to remind people who the hell these characters are and what they can do.
That's true.
And this way, the main book doesn't get bogged down in origin stories.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually pretty smart to do like little one-shots all leading up to them coming together.
Yeah.
It's very smart. And, we're big boosters of Orlando here on the Comic Multiverse. So, we wish him the best, and we hope he gets some good shit out of this. Actually, I think he might be at New York. I should come say hey to him. Ooh, if Midnighter and Apollo comes out that week, I should grab a copy of that and get him to sign it for me.
It comes out this week.
It does. That's going to be good. I don't know if I got enough room to review that or not. I'm falling behind, but I really, really liked that Midnighter run.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this book.
Shit, it's going to be time soon, Matt, when we have to make up our list of the best comics of the year. Would you put Midnighter on that list?
I would, but just thinking about that list is giving me a brain aneurysm because there's so many good books this year.
That they all seemingly shoved in near the tail end of the year, didn't they? Like, it's going to be hard to pick my favorite thing in DC Rebirth right now. I'm like, but Superman is great. Oh, but there's so many great Superman books, I can only pick one. But Green Arrow is my favorite, and he's doing really, really good right now. Oh, but Nightwing's back again, and Nightwing's really good. Oh, but Detective Comics might be the best team book I've read in a long time. Oh, but I can only pick one. And I don't want to cheat and be like, all the Bat family of books, all the Super family of books. No, Joel, you gotta pick just one. Shit. Alright, so moving on from that to some movie news. Mark Millar, or is it Miller? I can never say it right, Matt. I've gotten into full-on arguments. Is it Millar?
Yeah.
See, I was talking to someone just last week who swore up and down to me that it was Miller.
Well, it's LAR at the end, so La.
Yeah, Millar.
Mark Millar.
Millar. Tomato. Well, apparently, he's already working on casting his next big movie project. I've stated on the show many times before, I actually like the movies based on Mark Millar's work more than I like the comics sometimes.
Yeah, they're usually often better.
They are, for whatever reason. Either the tone or the mood is better, or they fix the ending. I don't know what it is, man, but the movies they make off of it are a lot better. Maybe it's just because his director collaborators are really awesome. I mean, it's usually the same guy for everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so apparently he's already working on his next project. We don't know what it is, but we know that he's interested in wrestler John Cena for the project.
Yep, and the project is Superior, and I actually own a copy of that.
They think it's Superior. Some people yelled at me and said it might be Huck when I was talking about this, but it's probably going to be Superior.
Yeah, I think it is Superior because he has been talking about that movie being made into a movie, and it owns itself to a movie because it's a really cool storyline. It could be it's like a really fun Superman story.
Yeah, you're a
like
big
a lot of comedy in it, and it's kind of terrible what happens in it as well. So you got like the drama, the comedy, the action.
It's got everything. It's got everything a good superhero movie should have in this day and age.
Yeah, and John Cena would fit it really well because if you don't know the story of Superior, it's about a kid who turns into a comic book character called Superior.
Huh.
He gets given a wish by some monkey who turns out to be a demon and takes his soul.
A little like Shazam, huh?
A little bit, yeah. But
it's a monkey instead of a tiger.
In our real world, yeah.
Interesting, huh? And I mean, geez, for anyone who has watched wrestling or is even tangentially aware of wrestling will know, John Cena is compared to Superman all the goddamn time. He's super positive, super pure, never been heel, or at least hasn't been turned in a long time. Always kicks out at two, always salutes and always supports the troops. Hustle, loyalty, respect. Which is the dumbest tagline ever, because how can you hustle while also being loyal and showing respect, Matt? I ask you that.
I don't know.
Hustling basically says I'm going to try and screw you over and get what I gotta get. You know, that's a good hustle. How can you hustle while also showing loyalty and respect, I ask you? Mark Millar will find a way when they write this movie. Superior hustle, loyalty, respect, coming summer 2020. Honestly, you know, the thing about Cena, I don't know if you've noticed, Matt, but he's actually, again, he's getting up there in age, which means he can't, you know, take pile drivers anymore and can't, you know, be doing bumps like he used to. He's trying to transition into more movies, and I gotta say, he's not a terrible actor. He might actually, if he keeps this up, he could have a Rock-esque career.
He could, yeah. He's actually a really funny guy as well.
He is. Trainwreck,
Like some-
he had a hilarious bit in Trainwreck, that Amy Schumer movie. He even showed up at the end of that terrible Marky Mark Will Ferrell movie there, Daddy's Home, and he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was in some Tina Fey movie as well. I can't remember what it was, but he was like a drug dealer in that, and he was really funny in it.
Yes, I remember that one. That was that Date Night with Tina Fey and Steve Carell?
I don't know. I knew it was recent. I'm
Yeah,
not sure what it was.
Yeah, I remember that. He was all tatted up and everything. Yeah, he's kind of Channing Tatum-ish in that way, where it's like, dude, you're built like a brick shithouse, but you should really only do comedy. You're really funny.
Yeah. He's done action movies as well. He's in that he did some WWE movie like a long time ago. Can't remember what it was called.
Oh, like 13 rounds or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
The Marine 7, The Marine Returns. No, yeah, he was the original Marine, actually, in the Marine movies.
Yeah, I actually really like that movie. It was a good action movie.
It's not bad. I mean, you know, it's very much in the same school of thought as, like, you know, the olden-timey Stallone movies or the olden-time, you know, Schwarzeneggers. You could, like, if they made that movie today, that's who they'd cast.
Yeah.
And I mean, shit, he's a better actor than the hot dog skinned Hulk Hogan, so there you go. Man, dude, there's a buddy cop picture right there. John Cena must team up with his brother Channing Tatum to defeat the evil drug lord played by Hulk Hogan.
John Cena and Michael Cera
Of course.
team up.
I like it. I like where this is going. This is like we brought back the pitch it section, people. This used to be a segment on the old Blood Sweat comics, and now we've brought it back here only for movies. And then, you know, they are counseled by their mentor, Willem Dafoe. He's like, yeah, John Cena, John C. Reilly. I can help you. Are you okay there, Willem Dafoe? This is how I talk. Green Goblin. It sounds like you're having an aneurysm. Nah, I'm good. That's a movie. But what would we call it, though? We need a title. And who will direct? Kevin Smith is attached to direct this project. He's just going to plop the camera down and film what's going on. It'll be great. And then something with German sausage Nazis, too, and he'll probably work in a role for his daughter at some point, too.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
And then when the movie flops, he'll say he's retiring, and then never actually retire.
Yeah, as he tends to do. But man, does he love doing those CW shows now? I gotta say, that Flash episode he did, best thing he's directed in a long time.
Which one did he direct? I can't remember which one he did.
Oh, like one of the talkier penultimate ones, but it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I know he's doing a Supergirl episode soon. So
he is.
That'd be pretty cool. And it's called Supergirl Lives.
Oh, nice. A nice reference to the script he wrote. That's clever.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Now, what else did we have going on in the news this week? So, apparently Stan Lee is going to be filming his next 4 Marvel movie cameos in bulk.
I thought he's already done them.
Oh, maybe he already has. Maybe this news is old by the time I put it on here and talked about it.
Yeah, I thought Kevin Feige came out and said he's already filmed the next 4.
Huh. Well, he's getting up there in age, so I guess he's got to film them all while he can, huh?
Yeah, he's got to... They should just, like, 3D capture him or something.
Yes, like Tupac, please. Be sure to get the spirit of Stan Lee in the machine, so even when he passes away, we can continue to put him in things to make it like he's not dead at all. Just get a wax sculpture of Stan Lee, like a really lifelike one, and just, have the guys from Industrial Light and Magic puppeteer it.
Go to the Stan Winston School of Special Effects and get him to make like an animatronic Stan Lee.
We're gonna be feeling really embarrassed when we find out, like 4 years from now, that Stan Lee has actually been dead for the last decade, and it has been holograms and robots and stand-ins. And someone was onto it, and that's why he can't do comic conventions anymore, because we were getting too close. We almost figured it out. Where it's like, oh, sorry, Stan, the technology, it's just not there yet. We can't let Robo Stan out in public again. He's gonna malfunction and start choking people. I like this theory. But yeah, so that's interesting. More power to him. Next up on the docket, we have the unfinished Dark Knight 3 The Master Race gets a 9th issue.
And the internet let out a collective
A collective fart, and not like a good fart too, like a funny one, like a big, long, wet when they heard the news.
I like when it was announced. I think it was Brian Ozzarello or someone who's in writing it or involved in it said there's just 2 little issues for it to be contained in only 8 issues. It needed that extra one. I'm like, did it really? The
irony being the last issue they came out with, Batman and Superman already defeated the evil rogue Kryptonians, and it already felt like the book was over anyway.
Yeah, so what the fuck's the story gonna be? I bet they're going back to that. Oh, well, they defeated the Kryptonians, but now Batman has to defeat the last Kryptonian, Superman again, and
of course.
It just becomes a rehash of Dark Knight Returns.
As if the book wasn't already a big rehash of those things.
Yeah.
Remember in Dark Knight 3, because I'm sure plenty of you have already forgotten because it's been so long ago, remember when angry, curmudgeonly Batman destroyed the internet?
Yeah.
That's a thing from that book, everyone, in case you forgot. Batman destroyed the internet, and he's like, maybe this will get the goddamn kids to get their noses out of their fucking phones, and then they'll pay attention to the goddamn aliens. That was actual Azzarello dialogue there, too.
But what I don't understand about that is okay, so everyone's on social media and everything. So wouldn't someone have actually noticed it and posted it on social media?
Exactly. I'm sure there'd be a ton of hashtags right there. Hashtag Kryptonian invasion. Hashtag 10 things you didn't realize about this Kryptonian invasion.
Yeah, doesn't it also show you how out of touch Azzarello and Millar are? Mm-hmm. The kids on the internet, they're only looking at the cat pictures and the Donald Trump videos and
yeah, really. But oh man, those cat Trump videos are hilarious though. Dude, my vote is going to write-in candidate Cat Trump. He's just like a cat, but he has Donald Trump hair.
And goes on Twitter rants at 3 a.m. in the morning about sex tapes.
He sure does. Oh, God, they might elect that man. They're dangerously close to giving that man the nuclear launch codes, Matt. As two foreigners who, are, allied with America, doesn't that just help you sleep at night knowing that?
I just find it so fucking hilarious.
I'm really glad that I'm going to America in October, and I'll miss November and I'll miss the election, because if it was after that, I'd be kind of afraid to go to America, because I'm like, look, shit could go down at any moment. The shit could go down, the revolution could be on, and I wouldn't even know. And thus they swore in Supreme Chancellor Trump. Wait, what?
His first order of business is to create a grand army.
The greatest army that the galaxy has ever seen. And then he said he will squash the Rebel Alliance. What?
And make the galaxy great again.
He's building a Death Star. What? Where was that in any of the promo packages? Also, he has a weird squishy monster face. What? I mean, before he looked like a Cheeto, but he wiped the orange stuff away, and now he just has a puffy monster face. He's just sitting up there at the inauguration. Good, good, good. And from that very intelligent political tirade, we move on to another piece of news. Hey, apparently Sam Neill is going to be joining the cast of Thor Ragnarok. That means we've got basically everyone from Jurassic Park now in Thor.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really all I can say. We don't know who he's playing yet. I imagine it would be a smaller cameo.
Yeah, it probably will be a cameo because he just finished working on that Hunt for the Wilder People with Taika Waititi, so he probably just offered him a role or some small thing. He'd probably play like an Asgardian or something.
That'd be cool. I could see him being like buddies of Sarsgaard's character.
Yeah. Oh, is he in it? Is Skarsgård in it?
Is he? I don't know. I mean, I don't think. I mean, we heard that the ladies weren't coming back at all for it. This is going to be a bro picture with the bros. But I mean, Skarsgård's a bro. He could show up.
It's possible. I know he's not going to spend a lot of time on Earth because they only filmed like a bunch of stuff in my city for New York, and that was it.
They did.
So
That had to make you feel good, right?
yep.
Be like, man, I'm so close to Thor, I could touch him right now.
I was so close to him. I was across a river from them while they were filming.
I just imagine Matt sitting there with his telescope being like, soon, soon.
Almost. I was working, so I couldn't do anything about it.
Oh, that sucks. I'm looking at his IMDb right now. No, apparently no. I guess he's not going to be in he's not going to be in the new Thor movie.
Yeah, they probably decided to get rid of them just because like that was like the one complaint about all these Thor films. They spend too much time on Earth with these people who say Mjolnir and whatnot and all these weirdos.
I wouldn't say Skarsgård was part of the problem, but yeah, I can agree with that in the Thor movies, even the sidekicks had sidekicks.
Yep.
I'll admit that's kind of
and that
fair.
sidekick got a sidekick in the second one.
I know, right? I know. Look, I have nothing against Kat Dennings, but she got really grating there near the end of the Dark World.
I don't know what their deal with her character was in those films.
Again, someone like me must have really had a crush on her and been like, no, we need to bring her back, though, because she's just adorable. Look, I'll take her out. I'll film some stuff on my camera. You don't have to put it in the movie or anything.
They should have just made her like an incompetent SHIELD agent or something.
That'd be funny.
Like a fangirl or something.
I'd like that. That'd be fun. There's a lot of that going on in comics these days with heroes and important characters who are also fans of things.
Yeah.
I'd like that. So what else do we got going on here? Just some real short stuff here. In Brooklyn this year, they're going to be hosting the first ever Jewish Comic-Con. That's interesting.
That's what's going to make it Jewish?
It's Jewish centered. They've got a bunch of different, speakers and people running it. It makes a lot of sense when we stop and consider, the contributions that the Jewish community has given to comics. Some of the greatest writers and creators have been of Jewish ancestry or of Jewish faith. So I think it's interesting that they're actually kind of making one focused on, Jewish issues and everything. They got a bunch of different writers and artists together for panels. So, hey, if you're in the Brooklyn area, there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all right. Another kind of small one here. Tom Hardy is apparently going to be joining Warren Ellis's Red as a TV show project.
Red, was this the one? No, this wasn't the one that Bruce Willis's movies were based on, was it?
It's that
is
one.
It? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they're doing a reboot of it. I actually like those movies. Those movies were pretty cool.
See, the first one didn't do it for me, and I never saw the second one.
I liked them both for like some of the action scenes and some of the stuff they were doing in it. The second one, I'm trying to remember what it was about.
Exactly.
But I know it had like John Malkovich in those movies was amazing.
I did like Malkovich. Making Malkovich like an aged Jack Bauer, Jason Bourne type super spy, that was a funny idea. Seeing Helen Mirren as like an aged Angelina Jolie femme fatale shooting machine guns, that was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And then there's just Bruce Willis.
Just Bruce Willis, basically playing Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the news, everybody. Hey, we got to talk for 40 minutes about that one. That's not too bad. And I guess with that, we can shift gears and talk about Luke Cage, the brand new Marvel Netflix show. This will be a spoiler-filled discussion, so if you haven't seen the show yet, you should probably check out right about now. But, be sure to save this one for later. After you've watched the show, you can come back and listen to this one. Matt, I guess I'll let you start.
Where to begin? I really enjoyed this show. I really liked it. I did think it kind of felt sped up a little bit.
Really? In
terms of plot.
See, I thought it dragged in the middle for a long period of time, only to kick in right at the end. Because there's a point in this show where essentially they could easily have made it the end, and then they kept going.
Yeah, right.
Like
right.
with I'll just come out and say it right now because we're in the spoiler portion. When they killed Cottonmouth so early on, I'm like, oh, this feels like this should be at the end of the season. Oh, but they're still gonna keep going.
You know, I kind of felt it sped up, especially in that third episode where Cottonmouth actually attacks Luke Cage and blows up that building
With
he's
a
in, and
goddamn rocket launcher.
That felt like something that should have been like episode 6, like middle of the show sort of thing. After Luke's done a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the Marvel shows as we know them have really experimented and played around with pacing. You know, Daredevil Season 1 was a big, long movie. Daredevil Season 2 portioned its episode out in, you know, arc form, kind of like the comics. And Jessica Jones was paced more like a traditional TV show with starts and stop points and episodes that kind of stood on their own, which is kind of why Jessica Jones I still hold up as maybe my favorite, because it does that. Luke Cage, in many ways, and you can agree or disagree with me on this one, Matt, kind of returns to Daredevil Season 1 style of storytelling, and that is it's one big, long movie.
Yeah, it really is. If you were to watch these in, like, if someone like cut them all together, it would be one long movie. You have like a beginning, then like midway through you sort of go back and there's flashbacks with the origin, and then it continues on until we get to the end part with Cottonmouth.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in many ways, too, it also hits all the points of, like, a classic action movie type thing where, you know, you got a guy with, you know, super, you know, he's got powers and everything, but he swore never to use them again until he must use them to defend his community from a evil force. But is he right to? Is he wrong to? In many ways, you know, when you look at Luke Cage as a series, it might actually be the most traditional superhero story they've done in Marvel today, because you got to figure, in Daredevil, when we join him, he's already decided to be a hero. He's already made that choice. Jessica Jones completely denies being a hero, especially being a superhero, for pretty much the entirety of her show. Luke is the first one where we kind of get to see that A to B, you know, well, I have these powers. Should I do good? Well, is it right for me to do that? What would the repercussions be? To finally, at the end, being like, yes, I will be a hero and I will defend Harlem.
Yeah, it's more of the classic superhero sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think the big revelation from this show, and the thing that I liked the most on this one, and I didn't think I'd end up liking it as much as I did, Misty Knight fucking owns in this show.
Oh, she was absolutely incredible in this show.
It's funny, in a lot of these Marvel shows, you always seem to have one character who steals it, be it Vincent D'Onofrio in Daredevil Season 1, The Punisher in Season 2, the Purple Man? Luke Cage was stolen not by a villain, but stolen by a supporting character in Misty Knight. They nail her character and the sassy back and forth she has with pretty much everyone perfectly.
Yeah, and like with me, like I'm not really too familiar with all of Luke Cage's stuff. Like I know his origin and everything, and I've only read him in like books where he's like teamed up with like Spider-Man or like been in part of the Avengers or something. But it was really great how they did all these characters in this show. They were really easily accessible, and you didn't need to read like, oh, she you know dresses like this or talks about this because it happened in this arc or something. You know, it was all pretty generalized and everything.
Well, you know, it's funny, Luke Cage, probably more than any other Marvel show, too, has more characters from the comics per square inch than any other one before. And honestly, Luke Cage seemed to not really give a fuck if you got the references or not, which there was something kind of admirable about that, where, you know, Daredevil and Jessica Jones may have stopped and winked and been like, hey, this is important, maybe you should Google this. Luke Cage just kind of ran with it.
Yeah.
And, like, again, to bring it back to the villain thing there, I mean, pretty much every Marvel Netflix series we've seen so far has had, like, the one strong breakout villain. Luke Cage goes another way completely, and it has, like, 5 smaller villains throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, all the villains in this, whether it was Shade, Cottonmouth, Diamondback, Mariah, like, they were all amazing in their own way.
And I mean, that's got to be a rough thing to do for Luke Cage, because he does not have a good rogues gallery. He has guys like Disco Devil and Cockroach Hamilton. So the fact that they were able to hammer something out of these characters is, you know, it's a pretty interesting feat. you gotta say, I was a big fan of Shades myself. He was probably my favorite. I'm a big Theo Rossi fan. I loved him as Juice on Sons of Anarchy, and I think he really shows what a good actor he is in this show.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was absolutely amazing in this.
He was real good. I mean, in many ways, I mean, heck, again, spoilers, he survived to the end, him and Mariah, so I guess they ended up being the real villainous winners out of this thing.
Yeah, and I imagine, and also Diamondback survived as well, and he was being experimented on by that doctor who gave Luke his powers.
Right.
So I imagine he'll probably come back into Defenders or something.
Possibly. Speaking of Diamondback there, one of the other interesting things about Luke Cage is, in all those other Netflix shows, there was a big kind of like, feeling of anticipation towards like, oh, are they going to finally get to the costume? When are they finally going to put on the costume? Luke Cage is different because they give it to you quite early on. They pay homage to the costume and then never look back because traditionally Luke Cage doesn't wear a costume in the comics.
And he even references it when he like puts on the yellow shirt and he's still got the bands and the headband on and everything. He's like, yeah, I look like a damn fool.
Even the name Power Man, they call him Power Man several times in the show.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciated that. I thought it was a nice touch. I mean, we're talking about everyone else. I guess we should talk about Luke himself. Mike Coulter, we already knew he was great from Jessica Jones. He has this kind of rugged strength, but also this, comforting warmth to him. And honestly, and again, you can have your 2 cents on this one, Matt. I think he did some of his best acting when he didn't speak at all.
Yeah, he does that really great, strong, silent type sort of thing.
Very
and
Western.
The way he moves and everything. Yeah. And what I really liked about it is the range he had. He had obviously the Luke in the present time, which was kind of reserved and kind of quiet, kept to himself. And we had the Luke in Seagate, who was kind of a bit more open and defiant, like kind of bad guy-ish sort of thing.
They pay homage to the afro, which I like. Luke Cage had an afro at some point in this.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
There were many great afros on this show, actually. Again, I don't compliment hair and makeup people very much, but they did a good job.
They did. They did
a real good job here. I mean, Harlem is a character in this show, too, and they bring up a lot of, Harlem, New York, civil rights history that I didn't know, and I definitely feel I walked away from this show slightly more educated.
Yeah, no, as I said in my review, I didn't know how they were going to go for it, because I knew they were going to do like the whole sort of like civil rightsy sort of thing, Harlem is a black neighborhood and everything, and I thought like maybe for people like me and maybe yourself who aren't like have been to New York or lived there, live in like the city, that sort of thing,
The
we might feel
audience, yeah.
Yeah, we might feel alienated, but we didn't. They explained it really well, and
They did.
as you said, we come off knowing a bit more than we did going in.
Now, the show educates and entertains. Now, it's funny, one reference about, like civil rights leaders that actually made me laugh and actually kind of surprised me. Twice in the show, they mention a man named Jeffrey Canada, and I laugh because I'm like, Canada, that's where I'm from. Then I Google the guy just for, shits and giggles, and I'm like, oh, wait, I actually know this guy. Jeffrey Canada was in that great documentary called Waiting for Superman, where he talks about how broken the American school system is. He's that guy. He's the guy who's leading, like, school reform in, like,
Nice.
New York today. Like, he's a guy who's alive today.
Awesome.
Yeah, speaking of real people, freaking Method Man of the Wu-Tang
Oh,
Clan.
that was so awesome.
That might be one of the best cameos they've ever done in Marvel anything. And not only does he show up for a funny scene, he ends up becoming integral to the rest of the show because he writes a Luke Cage ballad.
Yeah, and it's an actual song that you can listen to on Spotify.
It just got released, and I'm like, you know what, Iron Man, Captain America, I love you, but you don't have a rap song written about you, do you?
The music in this as well is really awesome. Like the orchestral score and everything is really like that 70s blaxploitation revenge film sort of score.
Oh yeah, they got rap, they got R&B, they got soul and jazz, and they have a perfect way to work it into the show too, because Harlem Paradise, Cottonmouth's Club, is always auditioning and always having shows with live music, so they have like a good excuse to have that.
Yeah, it was really great how they worked that in. And of course, it's like the music is a big part of their culture as well in Harlem and everything.
Talking about the arts and everything that they make there travel all around the world, even if their people don't. And it's interesting, Mariah, or Black Mariah, as she's called in the comics, her whole goal of this I found interesting. She's like, keep Harlem black, keep Harlem proud, keep all of the things intact that we like about it. I liked that what she was trying to do there ran completely in the opposite direction of what Fisk was trying to do to Hell's Kitchen, where Fisk was like, no, tear it down, gentrify it, I want to take revenge on the city and town that hurt me and everything.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of an interesting thing to see a villain kind of go in the opposite direction.
Yeah, and since like they both sort of survive and kind of got away, it makes me think maybe they'll come to blows a little later on. Maybe that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, Fisk is going to get out of jail, and when he does, he's going to try and take back all his territory. And if Black Mariah has become like a new crime boss, that would be a cool fight for them to have.
Yeah, and she would actually have a lot of power because she kind of ended the series like vilified and like better off than when she was before, and she's becoming like politically connected and everything. And yeah,
and all the other bosses are dead, so that helps.
Yeah,
that always helps, killing all the other bosses. It's funny, they mentioned so much real history in Harlem. The one thing I'm shocked that they didn't mention is the time that the Hulk totally messed up Harlem. I'm surprised that didn't get brought up in conversation.
Well, they always mention the incident and everything, and I imagine that because that happened beforehand, like years before, maybe and then this alien attack started. Maybe that's more fresh in the minds of people or something.
No one remembers the Twin Towers bombings. Everyone remembers 9/11. Also, man, I love too that there's a guy on the street just selling bootleg video of the alien attack and the Avengers fight with it.
I like that, but the only problem I had was like, how did this guy get hold of a red camera? Because they're like 20 grand, and you got to buy all the parts for it separately, which run you another 20 grand. And I'm like, how does he expect to like film something like that to happen, especially when it takes like half an hour to put the camera together?
Well, there's no right way to answer this question, Matt, without sounding vaguely racist. Either he hustled a lot of good DVDs on the street corner, or he stole it, and now I sound like an asshole. Thank you, Matt.
It's okay. People were telling me that on Twitter as well. I was like, you probably stole it. I'm like, that's kind of racist.
That's kind of racist, everybody. That's uncomfortable. Now, again, as you mentioned, race relations and civil rights and everything. I think one of the things I like about these Marvel shows is that they've all pushed the envelope in a different way. Daredevil pushed the envelope on violence. Jessica Jones pushed the envelope on, like sex and everything. Luke Cage, you would think, would push the, race and civil rights thing much harder than it does. Honestly, they'll go episodes and episodes without reminding you about it. It's really only at the end do they really push it, and even then they make a conceited effort to show both sides of it, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to like oversaturate it because
I guess not.
Because people would say like, yeah, we get it, civil rights and everything, so it's good and everything. But yeah, I can see them not wanting to push it too much and make sour people on it, I guess.
I guess, too, making Luke Cage like a fuck the police style hero might have been cliche in its own way. In fact, in what is easily the biggest deviation from the comics, like ever, in probably anything Marvel has done, yes, including the Mandarin, including everything else, they say Luke either trained to be a cop or was a cop before going to jail.
Yeah, he was a cop. Also, didn't someone say like he was part of the Marines or something?
He says that later when he ties up.
Yeah.
When he ties up Misty Knight's arm, that's a pretty gigantic deviation from the comics. I didn't know how I felt about that for the majority of the show. I still don't really know how I feel.
Well, really, as well, like, do we actually think he was a cop? Because remember, that was when he was Carl Lucas, and he was trying to get rid of the Carl Lucas. You don't know what was real or not, sort of thing. So maybe it wasn't real. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just something made up to make him seem evil or something.
I guess that they also kind of gloss over, the whole frame up in the first place. I assumed that like the majority of the show would focus on the actual frame up, but they kind of dispensed with it pretty quickly and pretty early.
Yeah, that the Diamondback sort of framing him for like killing cops and whatnot, it's kind of done really quickly, and yeah, as you said, not a lot of build up or anything.
Which is shocking because, like, again, I can only go like, well, if I wrote it, I would have written it like this. And they also downplay, well, I mean, they don't mention it at all, the fact that, Luke in the comics was in a gang, and all those guys, Shade, Stryker, and Comanche, who is mentioned but never actually seen, those guys were all members of his gang, and when Luke wanted to leave and be with his wife, Reva, they betrayed him, planted some heroin on him, and he got sent to jail. I'm really surprised that they didn't go with that story.
Yeah, no, well, they sort of deviated from that, where they see that him and Diamondback grew up, and they're technically brothers.
Yeah, wow, that's another one I didn't see coming.
And he ends up meeting Shade in prison, and Shade ends up being like the guy who tries to like shiv him and attack him and everything because of that stupid guard and everything.
Rucka, who is a character from the comics.
Yeah, I was looking like, that guy looks really familiar, and I'm wondering if maybe he was in that one shot.
Oh,
because remember that one shot was in Seagate
with the Mandarin, and
the guy
Justin
looks
Hammer.
really familiar. The guy looks really familiar. Hammer also plays a big part in this, even though he's not in it.
Another one I was not expecting. I think that's so awesome that instead of trading Stark Tech weapons back and forth, they were trading Hammer Tech weapons back and forth.
And it makes sense because Stark doesn't make weapons anymore, and Hammer is just like, I don't give a fuck who I sell to, as long as I'm making money.
It's true. I like that, and it also, because of what we know about Justin Hammer and Hammer Tech is that, he builds ugly shit that doesn't work the way it's supposed to. That also makes me like the ending better when Stryker puts on that suit that he puts on, and I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look good, but then I'm reminded, oh yeah, Hammer built it, so of course it looks ugly.
Well, the thing is, the suit actually looks like how he looks in the comics. It's like that green with like that yellow thingy. And the only thing that was different was the helmet. And I think they had the helmet to make him look a bit more like a snake.
Like a snake, yeah. Because in the comics, Diamondback is like a weird, freaky snake man. In fact, so is Cottonmouth. So Luke Cage is like two weird snake men villains. What's up? What?
Yeah.
To talk about a lack of creativity on that one. I enjoyed Diamondback, even if I felt he was like Harlem Joker for a good part of like his tenure.
Oh yeah, he hammed it up.
Yes, he did. He, like Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction, would look at him reading from the Bible and go like, dude, calm it down a little bit.
But what I really liked is how they didn't introduce him straight off in episode 1. It took like 4 or 5 eps for him to actually show up. He was sort of like the boss everyone talked about. Shade was working for him and was sent to, look out for Cottonmouth and everything. And they'd reference him as like, he's not going to be happy about this and everything. And then he just shows up and starts laying down the law.
And then even when you see him, you don't know who he is. I thought he was Comanche at first. I'm like, okay, here comes Comanche. Here's the last member of the old Luke Cage gang. But I'm like, oh no, that actually is Diamondback. Okay.
Yeah, because like I'm not familiar with like all of Luke Cage's bad guys or like people related to him and everything. I just thought it might have been like one of those like assassins they hire that's sort of like a heavy, and it takes Luke Cage a while to beat him.
Right.
But yeah,
I was going to say, speaking of beating Luke Cage, that took up a good chunk of story time in like the show as well, and that is how does a guy who is super strong with bulletproof skin fight, and also how do you make that action interesting with a character who is more or less invulnerable? And I think they found some interesting ways to deal with it.
I love the way he sort of fought guys, how he just like sort of swatted them.
It's true.
And it would like knock them out and everything. Is amazing.
I love that. It's like, I don't have to fight good because I just need to give you a strong slap on the head and you'll basically be knocked out. And because I only really operate in Harlem, people know me by name, and when they see me coming, they run the other way.
Yeah, like those guys who was selling guns, and he just like turned up, and they all just took off.
That was pretty great. Also, hey, Turk Barrett shows up from the Daredevil show. That's a nice touch.
It was amazing, and I was just waiting for him to get his nose broken or a limb broken or something, but it didn't happen. He just got locked in a dumpster.
And I like at the end, he's like, "Man, I'm not coming to this part of town anymore."
Yeah, I'm going back to Hell's Kitchen where it's normal.
Yeah, I mean, geez, Daredevil just breaks my nose, but Jesus, this is you guys play too rough here in Harlem. I mean, and speaking to a cameos while we're on it, we got some minor ones and some non-minor ones. Trish Walker, Hellcat actually shows up being like one of the talking heads talking about Luke Cage. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, that was really interesting when you start hearing her voice and everything. It's cool seeing that she's still doing her
Show,
Trish Talks or something, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was Trish Talks. She shows up, but Jessica Jones doesn't. Jessica Jones gets mentioned, but we don't see Jess again.
Yeah, that was really strange, especially after their sort of relationship they had in her series.
And how big a part of her show Luke Cage actually was. You think, they'd pay it forward and have her show up here.
Yeah, I did like, however, how Claire turned up. I like her introduction, how she gets off the train, gets robbed, chases down the guy, and beats the shit out of him.
Oh yeah, I mean Claire the night nurse. This is the biggest role she's ever had in anything. She is a regular supporting character in Luke Cage, not a cameo. And in fact, we pretty much get to see her become the night nurse in this.
Yeah, she actually says, like, I kind of want to just do this and sort of help powered people with abilities and everything. And that was really cool. And I guess that sets her up for the Defenders.
Yeah, she's good at it. And more than the fact that she's good at it, she's actually creating like a new kind of science and like a new kind of healthcare to take care of people with super abilities.
Yeah, especially during like the scenes where she had to go help Luke after he got shot twice with those Chitauri weapons from Hammer.
Which is another great callback. Here's my thing, because, Pop's Barbershop kept getting destroyed. Do you think they're going to rebuild that as the Heroes for Hire building, or do you think they're going to rebuild that as the night nurse's office?
I don't know, maybe Heroes for Hire. I was thinking maybe they'll play it into the Defenders a little bit, since that's where sort of Luke is sort of based out of, and that they might like head over there and sort of talk it out and everything, and use that as like a Defenders base, maybe.
I'd like that. Be like, hey, the other guys have a tower, we have a barbershop. But hey, we get our hair cut for free while we're here. Does Tony Stark get his hair cut for free at his fancy tower? Didn't think so.
Yeah, just don't swear. You got to put $1 on the swear jar.
I love that about Luke Cage, where, I think that's a beautiful thing to differentiating him from all the other Marvel heroes, where so many of the other ones are like, slick and cool and, like snarky. I know that's a big thing where it's like, why are all these Marvel heroes snarky? They're not afraid to let Luke be corny, and they're not afraid to let his jokes be groaners, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, and Night Nurse actually calls him out on it. Oh, no, Misty as well calls him out on it as well. It's like, that was corny.
You corny, man. So corny. But he's corny in a fun way, too. It's like he's filled with your dad jokes. Oh, Luke, we love your dad jokes. Now be sure to get 8 hours of sleep and drink plenty of water. I mean, really, what else is there to say? But again, I complained about the pacing there before. Like, again, I swear it felt like they put 2 seasons worth of stuff in one show, where it's like as soon as Cottonmouth died, where it's like, well, that's your ending, right? And I kind of, wandered around aimlessly in the show until pretty much until like around, the stuff with Diamondback and eventually Method Man, to where I'm like, okay, I'm back in, and then it pushes to the finale.
Yeah. I did, however, like the stuff like I think it was the 4th episode where we was trapped in the rubble, where we got like the flashback to him in prison and sort of his origins, and then when he goes and sees that doctor, him and Night Nurse go see that doctor, and they try and fix him and everything with that acid bath. I thought that was pretty cool.
That acid bath was fucking horrifying. Like, that actually made me uncomfortable watching that, because it's like, hey kids, what's worse than acid? Boiling hot acid. To burn off your skin so we can cut into you with these knives. Yeah, so that looks pretty fun. And as I said before, the Doctor survives, and so does Diamondback, and they sort of working with each other. So I imagine the next time we see Diamondback, he'll probably look more like a snake. Like maybe something will go wrong in the thing, and they bathe him in the acid, and it scars his skin and turns it sort of scaly or something. They had such a hard run, I'm sure, with these Luke Cage villains, because much like him, most of them were just guys in suits. And even the big plan, even the big thing that pushed Luke Cage was like, I don't want to save the city, I don't want to, save the world. The whole big crux of Luke Cage's show was like, I want to clear my name. Yeah. To which I'm sure to some people will seem like a big, kind of step down in stakes. But I mean, I thought it worked for Luke.
Yeah. Also, the series doesn't end on like kind of a high note. It ends with him going off to jail because in the end he did still break out of jail.
Yeah, it ends. Yeah, you're right, Matt. I never considered that. It ends on a real downer, actually.
Yeah, and the villain gets away. The
It's true.
Mariah gets away, and I hated her in that last episode. She was so smug.
Oh God, she was. Oh yeah, she was. You love to hate her for sure.
I was hoping, come on, Luke, throw her out a window, please.
Come on, Luke, punch her just a little bit, just a little bit. Just one little punch. You know you want it. You know you want it. Anything else to cover on this one, or you think we said it all at this point?
I think we've pretty much said it all.
Okay, tell you what now. To finish her off, let's try and rank these because I think I might surprise people with my rankings, my own personal rankings. Jessica Jones, I think, is still probably my favorite, only because I think it works better on an episode-to-episode basis. I'm very much about that, pacing and episodes being able to stand on their own. I know that's weird for Netflix, and especially for these Marvel shows where they assume you're going to binge watch them anyway. I would go Jessica Jones, Daredevil Season 2, just slightly under that. And then probably with them, I would put Daredevil Season 1 and Luke Cage more or less on the same field, I would say.
I'd go Daredevil Season 1 as my number one pick.
Oh, that's still your favorite. Okay.
Yeah, I really like what they did with that show, and it was the first one. And Jessica Jones and Daredevil Season 2 are sort of like tied for me for second. I really like both of them, but for completely different reasons. And then Luke Cage coming in at the end there.
Yeah, okay.
It was a strong show, but just the other two I thought slightly bit better.
A little better, yeah. I mean, here's the thing too. Luke Cage is clearly already finding an audience, and in fact, I think it might actually be one of those shows that breaks barriers and finds fans, outside the realm of comic books. And I think for that, it's really good. And also, they left themselves a lot of places to go for Season 2 of Luke Cage. And I think a lot of these shows are going to be on for a while. So, I definitely want to come back to this world and its characters and want to see what's up.
Yeah. Do you think they'll do a Season 2, or do you think they'll go Iron Fist and then Season 2 of both Iron Fist and Luke Cage will just be Heroes for Hire?
Oh, I'd be fine with that, too. You know what else?
Yeah, I would be as well.
You know what else I'm fine with? Misty Knight in that red dress in the final shot, which is just her costume. It's funny, they tease her losing an arm, but she doesn't. They even joke like, oh, if you don't get that looked at, you're going to lose that arm, Misty. And I'm like, yes, lose the arm, lose it. Which I never thought I'd be rooting for someone to lose an arm, but yes, lose it so you can get a sick-ass robot hand like Luke Skywalker.
I'm surprised they didn't to keep up with that whole MCU thing of people losing arms in Phase 2.
Well, here's the... Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Everyone did lose an arm. You're right. You know what I think it is? I think... Excuse me, because in the comics, it's Tony Stark and Stark Tech who builds her the robot arm. Maybe because they couldn't do anything with Robert Downey Jr. directly. Although, honestly, I would be fine if her arm turned out to be Hammer Tech. That'd be fine.
or they could just, somehow steal, like, an Iron Man gauntlet or something. Or, they
just put it on the nub
steal
of her
something.
Arm.
Yeah.
Just put it on the nub. Here you go, Misty. Now you're even more cool. Now you can blast people.
Or they get one of Coulson's hand, the schematics for Coulson's hand leaks.
I totally forgot about that. Why should she have a cool robotic hand when Coulson already has a great cool robotic hand? Just borrow one of his. Ooh, speaking of Misty Knight too, as we're back again on that subject, the guy who plays her partner Scarf, who is actually a character from the comics. Because the showrunner on this show also worked on Ray Donovan. That's the slimy FBI guy from Season 1 of Ray Donovan. Did you catch that?
I didn't. I liked Frank Whaley as a actor. I think he's great. He plays real, corrupt kind of dickhead scumbags. And I'm always whenever he was on screen, I always got reminded of his role in Drillbit Taylor.
Oh, yes.
As that bodyguard who picks a fight with that guy and gets knocked out.
He's in the movie for maybe 10 seconds, but he leaves a mark. You can't forget that actor's face. He has a very specific face.
Yeah.
He's really good in this one. He has a good back and forth with Misty. So good, in fact, I was kind of sad when he ended up dying. I'm like, oh man, I wanted to continue you guys having fun buddy cop stuff.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're like, this guy's a scumbag. He's
This
got to
guy's
go.
pretty shitty. I know I wasn't feeling that way in Ray Donovan when John Voight shot him. I'm like, good. Fuck you, cop, whose name completely goes over my head. Now, speaking of Ray Donovan, and because we've moved into the Ray Donovan portion of the show, that show had what might very well have been its final episode this week.
Really? It's not going to come back?
They leave it on a happy ending. They could come back and do more, but if they didn't, the show would have ended on a good note if they wanted to leave it here.
I got to catch back up on that show.
You gotta now. This was a really strong season. Here's the funny thing: I almost didn't catch the finale because literally every episode, like the last 5 episodes they've done, all felt like they could have been season finales. That's the sort of show it was where I'm like, oh, I guess that's over then. Oh no, wait, there's still 5 more. Oh, I guess it's over then. Oh no, wait, there's more. Honestly, you could have left me on that and I would have been satisfied, guys. That's the kind of show it was. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's the comic multiverse. Do we have anything else to say about the sweet Christmas that was Luke Cage?
Not really. It was a pretty damn good series. Good, solid series of the Netflix Marvel stuff, and I look forward to seeing more.
Yeah, I mean, even though it wasn't my favorite, I definitely tore through it quicker than I did Jessica Jones and Daredevil. I'll put it that way.
Yep, same.
I watched it much faster, and maybe that's something in the show's favor too. It's more easily digestible than Daredevil or Jessica Jones was, because those were some shows that were dealing with some really brutal, really uncomfortable topics a lot of the time. And at the end of Daredevil and at the end of Jessica Jones episodes, I know I felt kind of physically drained, where I'm like, okay, that's enough for tonight. But with Luke Cage, I'm like, yeah, but what's Luke and Misty doing next? I want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no problem watching 4 to 5 in a day to get her done. It's funny too. I was expecting, as with everything Marvel related, were you doing this, Matt? Were you waiting for the final episode to be like, okay, where's the stinger? Where's the stinger? Where's the Iron Fist stinger that's gonna come in at the end?
I'm actually kind of glad they didn't do that.
It's refreshing, but at the same time too, I'm a horrible garbage fanboy, and I'm just like, give me the things I like, show me things I like and know.
Yeah, there were Iron Fist references in there. Apparently, there was a flyer that Claire looks at that's for martial arts lessons and something, and there was a reference in the flyer to Iron Fist.
Oh, I missed that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Was it like Daughters of the Dragon or Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, because they have a shared history with the Heroes for Hire?
I think so, something like that.
That would be cool if they brought in the Daughters of the Dragon or some shit to hang out at like that. That'd be cool. There's a lot of cool places that Luke Cage could go. I mean, hell, you could even start introducing villains and characters that aren't Luke Cage related, and I would be fine with it, because I think that's the sort of show where you could. I was reading the new Sam Wilson Captain America today, and they have a character in there called Rage, and Rage is an old Marvel character. Do you know Rage, Matt?
I don't know.
He's an angry black man in a lucha mask who looks like he's an adult, but he's actually a teenager, just, super hyped up on, basically the same sort of experiments that made Luke Cage into Luke Cage.
Oh, okay.
I think that would be great. You have Rage show up in Season 2. He's an angry young man. He's wayward. He has these powers. He doesn't know what to do with himself. And Luke kind of mentors him and becomes like what Pops was to him.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be really cool.
I could see that really well, being like, Luke, I learned to master my own powers. I was in similar experiments, and now I'll try and help you master your powers.
Yeah, that could be really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's a bunch of even joke Luke Cage villains you could bring in there, like Discus, a man who throws discs really good.
Well, just talking about the whole mentorship thing, do you think maybe that's going to be Luke's role with Iron Fist, maybe?
I'd like that. That'd be fun.
Because he seems a lot older than Iron Fist at the moment, or the actor who's going to be portraying Iron Fist.
Yeah, than Sir Loras Tyrell of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so maybe it could be the mentor to him.
I'd like that. There's a lot of fun directions we can go. And heck, that's the interesting thing of doing a Luke Cage and Iron Fist solo show. That is that, they have one of the greatest friendships in all of comics. And we'll get to see that in Defenders. We'll get to see them for the first time kind of become friends. And I think that's going to be really special.
It's going to be amazing.
It's, pretty much everything Batman and Superman should have been when they met on screen for the first time. Be like, yo, they disagree, but they're friends, man, and that's the coolest part.
Yeah, one's kind of serious and the other one's kind of jokey.
Yeah. We could have had that, but we'll get it here. We'll get it with frickin' we'll get it with Power Man and Iron Fist, and I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
All right then. So yeah, is that it for this week? Oh, hey, you know what, Matt? Well, I got you here because it was a huge episode, and because we're not quite over time yet, and I want the people to have a good show while I'm away in New York. Did you watch Rebels? The Last Rebels?
I did, yeah, I did.
Dude, fucking Holocron of Fate, man. Was that not the shit?
That was so cool. Fucking Maul's back, and
did you ever think there would come a time where we're like, man, no, Darth Maul actually is a good villain?
I was thinking that when I was starting to write my review for it. I was like, I never thought like this character who was in one of the worst Star Wars movies, if not the worst Star Wars movies, would end up being such a compelling and amazing, fleshed out character. Like, and it's amazing because it took like cartoons and comic books to do that.
I know, right? Thank God for Filoni and his people there to redeem Darth Maul across all these cartoons. He's had an arc from Clone Wars to here now. He's one of the few characters who got to have like a multi-show arc.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Also, apparently, I couldn't find anything about this, but apparently Obi-Wan's going to be on this season as well.
I mean, that's what they were building up to. I mean, the big moment in this episode is that, Ezra and Maul join together the two holocrons, one of the Sith, one of the Jedi, and because of it, it opens their minds, all 2001 style, and they get to see visions. Ezra says he sees two suns, which, I mean, even if you're just a casual Star Wars fan, you know that has to be a reference to the twin suns on Tatooine.
Yep.
What Maul says is a lot more cryptic, and it's something you gotta think about. He says, he's alive, and he gets all pissed off and runs away. Assumedly, he's talking about Obi-Wan, the man who cut off his legs in the first place.
I was thinking he was talking about him, or maybe he was talking about Savage Opress.
His brother, yeah. Was his brother?
Because his brother was a... No, his brother got killed by Palpatine, but maybe he's alive somewhere, because he was created by the Witches of Dathomir, and he technically wasn't like an actual Zabrak. It was like a ghost. It was really weird how they did it. They like turned him into some weird ghost sort of thing when they made him an adult or something.
They kept adding shit to his character. Also, I remember, as much as I like the storyline you're mentioning, with Savage, voiced by the great Clancy Brown, it always bugged me in Clone Wars that was another real George Lucasism, where it's like, we used to have Zabraks, and we used to have Dathomirians, but now they're both from the same planet, so now there's Dathomirian Zabraks, and one is the male part of the species, and one is the female part of the species, so we just took something that was simple and made it complicated.
Yeah, I liked what they did with the Dathomirians in the expanded universe, how they had like the Witches of Dathomir and everything, and then they just decided, we'll combine these two for some reason.
For some damn reason. That's such a George idea. It's like, no, you gotta put them together though.
Yeah.
And also, Korriban is called Moraban. But George, Korriban has been called Korriban for like decades now in the expanded universe. It's Moraban now.
I'm actually glad that that's turned, because now we don't have the people that say like Knights of the Old Republic and Revan and everything are still canon, because of the name change. It's completely thrown everything to the wind.
Ooh, Matt, throwing that shade on them Knights of the Old Republic fans all day, every day.
That's a good game, but like, come on, it's not everything,
Some people do treat it like it's the end-all, be-all in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I will agree. It's very good, and in fact, shit, if Thrawn can be made canon, there's no telling what can be made canon again.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't get Thrawn in this episode.
No, we didn't. I like that they're using him sparingly, and I like that we kind of have a rotating cast of villains now for Rebels.
Yeah, but I'm really excited to see where this season's going to go, especially since I think we're getting pretty close to like the timeline where like Rogue One and everything takes place. Yeah. So that's going to be really interesting.
Man, it's going to be really sad when Rebels is over and all these characters have to die, because that's the only way the timeline will make sense.
Not really, they could always go out into the unknown regions, or like the galaxy is a galaxy, it's a big place.
And then the crew of the Ghost, followed the first star on to dawn and went to the space between spaces. Sure, let's go with that. I like, too, the whole tunnel full of spiders was kind of like Ezra's own Tree of Insight moment.
That was really cool, and the great master and apprentice moment there.
Really good, being like, the Bendu's... in my reading of it, the Bendu could have given them the holocron whenever he wanted, but he's like, no, I'm going to test you. You need a team-building exercise.
Yeah, it's like Yoda sending Luke into the cave and everything. He could have, just told him everything, but no, he's got to test him to make sure he's ready.
Which leads to one of the greatest lines in all of cinema. What's in there? Only what you take with you.
Yeah, and find out he's not ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people forget that about that scene in Empire. It proves that Luke was not ready.
Yeah.
Shit, you could argue that Ezra is actually more ready at this age now.
All he's doing shit with the Force that Luke couldn't do. Like he waved that walker off that bridge in the first episode, and
sure did. He could commune with his animal friends using the Force.
Yeah. Well, as well, he actually had a teacher who's alive and didn't die after the first training.
That helps, but then they also make a solid point of saying Kanan is only half trained himself.
Yeah, that's true. He's making a lot of the shit up as he goes along.
Kanan's like, look, I got the first half of the textbook. We're going to have to teach each other on the next.
We're going off book, Ezra. We're going off book.
Hey, you know what they didn't teach me in Jedi school? Improv. You know what we're going to learn today? Some improv. Another nice continuity gag, and I'm sure you picked this up too, when Maul's like, ooh, what is it, a bounty hunter, a Mandalorian? I ruled your planet for a little bit. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, he did.
He did, and I know the Mandalorians are coming back, so maybe he'll have throwdown with them soon as well.
I'd love it after
Mandalorians he ruled as well. I think what was her name?
The Death
voiced by
Watch.
Voiced by Katie Stackoff.
Right.
Oh, I'm blanking on her name now, but she was I think in defiance against Maul.
And wasn't that the woman who they eventually revealed was Sabine's mother? I know she said her mother was in the Death Watch.
I think they're still staying coy about that.
Right.
I think it's obviously implied that it is her mother, but I think they keeping coy about it for now.
Right. I mean, it all lines up too perfectly. But yeah, like you said, as we find out in this season, there's a bunch of Mandalorians working for the Empire, and Sabine's like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Y'all get fucked, boy.
That's her name. Katie Stackoff's character's name is Bo-Katan.
Very Star Wars.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Mandalorians, didn't they capture a Mandalorian commander and are keeping him prisoner on their ship in exchange for the Mandalorians not attacking rebel fleets? I guess they're gonna have to go back to that, won't they?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, they just captured a Clone Wars war hero who actually helped out the good guys, but who now they're keeping hostage because he was being a dick.
Yeah, I imagine. The Mandalorians are coming back, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, they want to bust out their guy. Yeah, I'd like that. Lots of good places that show can go.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, well, so we've been going for about an hour 30 now. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Again, as I said, by the time I put this up, I am already going to be in transit, so, wish me luck if you're going to be in the New York area. Hopefully you can come out and meet me and say hi and everything. I'm very approachable, Matt. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I'm very approachable, just come up to me, at any time, really, no matter what I'm doing. Just get right up in my grill and everything, and it's all good. I'm completely fine with all of that. But no, seriously though, come out and say hi. And if you have American cereals that we don't have here in Canada, I'm likely to talk to you even longer. I'm not saying I can be easily bought with American cereals, but I can be easily bought with American cereals.
Is that what you ask for instead of money? Maybe can I please get paid in cereal boxes?
Only
boxes of Fruit Loops and whatnot.
No, I see. I want the Fruity Pebbles and the Gorilla Munch and the Cookie Crisp and the things that only exist in this country. Oh God, it's gonna be so weird when I come back through customs and they're like, "What's with all the cereal there, son? Are you some sort of
just duffel bags full of cereal?
Are you some sort of black market cereal trader? Quick, lift up his shirt. What's he got? I knew knew it. He's taped devil dogs to his body.
There's drugs in the cereal.
Yo, man, we checked his carry-on, man, was filled with Mountain Dew Black. You know, that's a Class 3 felony in Canada, illegally transporting Mountain Dew Black. This is banned for a reason, son. You mix this together with some rubbing alcohol and you got jet fuel. I bet you didn't know that. That's how volatile Mountain Dew Black is. You just add some rubbing alcohol to it and heat it up in a saucepan and boom, rocket fuel. That's why they had to defund NASA, because they couldn't get any more Mountain Dew Black anymore. And on that note, everybody, I think I'm ready to end the show for this week. Be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, do all that other social network jazz. I want to thank the patrons again, because it's the beginning of the month. We got paid some patron money. Also, if you become a patron, you'll be listening to this episode first before anybody. I'll be uploading this one tonight for the patrons to listen to. It's Monday as we record this, so you're actually technically getting it a day late. We're actually going back to the time we used to record when Matt and I first started this, but we changed some stuff around. So yeah, thank you everyone for that. Matt, any parting words?
No, thanks for listening. Come check out some of my new Superman videos I'm doing. I'm also going to be doing very soon some more audio commentaries with Tom from Comic Bookcast on Superboy. So keep an eye out for them.
That's cool. We got to rope him into something Superman related. I know I said if we ever did like any of the animated Superman ones, like Superman versus the Elite, or especially if we did like All-Star Superman, we'll definitely have to get Tom in for that one. I know he'd probably jump at that, and we'd love to have him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so, keep your eyes out for that in the future, the next time there's no news going on. Also, as far as the show next week, everyone, I'll say this right here and now for everyone, I don't know what's going to happen, because I leave Wednesday morning because I got to go to the city. I then travel all night from like 11:30 p.m. to 11:30 a.m. the next day. I'm going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I leave Monday morning. And again, because we usually record the show on Sunday, I'm not going to be here. So I don't know what's going to happen. We might record the show late, but I might also be, dead. And cut down on, weight and everything and shit I got to worry about while in New York. I'm not going to be bringing my computer, so I'm not going to be able to get a lot of work done. I'm still going to have my pad. I'm still going to be connected to the internet, so I can still chat with you all on, like, Twitter and the channel and everything, and I'll be popping my head. And I also really want to work hard Wednesday morning to make sure that I have a lot of content. I want to have at least one video every day while I'm gone is my goal. So, yeah, definitely look out for that. I'm telling you now, so, when it comes, when it comes Wednesday or when it comes those days, I don't get a million people asking, hey, Joel, where's the show? Hey, Goober, where's the meat? You promised us meat, Goober. All right, so on that note, I'm finally ready to end the show. Bye-bye, everybody.
See ya.